Chakra. But yeah, this is how I function most of the time. I do very little work on, not little, I shouldn't say, but like when I don't need to work on the computer, I'm working from like 5 different physical books. Like, as I have many topics, I have yoga training, I have my whirling, I do tours in Egypt, and so I have like all of my
The screen time
sucks. Yeah, I can't do it makes me like, and I spend enough time on my phone just staying in contact with people, period, like answering. I have lessons, I have students, I have a child, I have parents, I so like just answering people for me, I have like minimum 10 conversations, minimum per day. Probably closer to 40, and
That's why I was really excited about a physical book.
I like to have a book. And you know what? Getting stuff printed in Egypt is awesome. And I mean, it's not free, but it's not expensive. Like when I had my books printed in Canada, it was $60. $60, that's like 3K, 35K to print it. I had all of these printed for probably that much. Yeah, and they're huge. So I think that less Egypt, I'm gonna print everyone's manual. That's great.
You can print it for free in your office, in anyone's office.
It's not free though, but I
No, I need here,
yeah,
if I wanted to print anything, I can print it for free in my office.
even this big amount of pages?
Yes.
Really?
No way.
Yeah, no way, yeah. It's so big, it's like 5 years. It's like almost 300 pages, and then when I converted it to PDF in the digital format, it turned to be like 500 pages somehow in the digital one. I was like. Alright, so page 77. Pranayama and breath work. So we talked a little bit about the nadis earlier, the energetic channels of the body.
The morning, yes.
Yeah, I don't know if you were here yet,
No.
if you arrived yet. But anyway, it's all recorded, so we'll have that for you. And we'll talk about it again, don't worry. So the Nadi Shodhana, this alternate nostril breathing that we did in the practice this morning. This is balancing for both hemispheres of the brain, and we'll just talk a little bit about the breakdown and we'll do it. We'll add a little bit of clarity, and then we'll move into breath of fire. We also did that in the warm-up this morning, like the warm-up. And then breath of joy, that's the one we did. So if I was traveling, I had some different gigs where I would travel to community centers, like 40 minutes I would drive in Canada. And I would teach yin yoga in the morning. And then everyone's like all blissed out. And I was like, how do I send them? Or when I teach a night class, how do I send them home driving? Everyone drives in Canada, no one's taking Uber or walking. So how do I send these people home safely when they're like, I don't feel good about this, and we have like ice on the roads and stuff in Canada, so I was like, how do I send these people home? So at the end of a yin class or the end of a really restful class, I would do breath of joy just to give them a little pep, and it's not too aggressive, and they just go instead of being like, now let's do 10 burpees. Like we could do that too, we could do that too. But so we would do maybe breath of joy or some pranayama to just keep the nervous system for a minute, but not in an aggressive way, and then they go home safely. So in the next little section here, we're going to go into breathwork lab, and then we'll integrate it into our bodies with the hip opener practice before we close. So the practice, I will say tonight when we get there, the pelvis in space. This is not your sequence A or your sequence B. This is poses. We're gonna do yin and yang together that focus on the pelvis. 77. And so this is another way that you can take notes for your teacher notes. Yes, we have sequence A and sequence B. It'll be with you forever. You can use it forever. I've used it for years. It's from my teachers and from their teachers and the sequence. But when you want to stay more fresh and you wanna be more like relevant, I was talking a little bit yesterday about themed classes. Yoga for artists, and there's all kinds, like wine and yoga, yoga outdoors, Dahab yoga, there's like all kinds of them, aerial yoga, so we're gonna do one that's focused on hips, hip opener yoga. You can have one yoga for the spine, yoga for people who work in a desk all day, yoga for dentists. You'll have your needs, so dentists who run, dentists who yoga, so like, so you have to start to actually think. Cause you'll be entrepreneurs or self agents of your own self, or you can work for a gym and they take care of everything for you. And you just stay practiced and you show up on time. But if you're gonna like take it out into the free market and be part of the free market, part of it is having your creativity like that. I really prefer kind of like a scientific approach, you know what I mean? You won't necessarily see me doing like, yeah, sip and paint, like a painting and like I don't do this. I like to do things to be in the body. I'm not judging people that I just don't do it. I just I'll do very like I'm very practical. Like even my dogs outside for a long time, I just gave them like actual names and I kind of forget the names. The one she has white around her neck, I called her White Neck. But now I call her bro. I was like, I have to think of a better name. And then everyone's like, what's your dog's name? So I was like, they're bad. And they had a brother that was here before, he was so big, we called him Optimus Prime. So it's like I was very uncreative. And then the other one that's there, Bruno. So now it's Burrow and Bruno. He was walking like this, he had a problem, he had a bad foot. I called him Bad Foot. Like it was very uncreative, very practical. So that's just how I operate. So like start to think about how you operate in different, yeah. Dentist too good. So, or you can work specifically on breath work now, and maybe you've looked already what's going on in Cairo, if you're staying in Cairo. And then you can kind of see like what they don't have, what niche you can fill, and start thinking about ways like that. What is fresh and aligns with your personality. So on page 77, techniques, training, and practices, this is one of the core competencies. Pranayama falls under it. So, breathing techniques section. So we acknowledge the breath, we acknowledge the lungs. Lungs are not muscles. This is what we were saying last night. They are sacs that need muscular assistance to have air drawn in and out of the body. So more than likely, when we're agitated, nervous, excited, energized, any type of nervous system peak, and you try to relax, or maybe you're, exercise, everyone's like, just take a breath. Like anytime that you're like, tweaking, just breathe, dude. If you're too stressed, just breathe. If you're not stressed enough, just breathe. Like they say it for everything, just breathe. But what is breathing? So, it's the, please refer to the physiology section for further anatomical breakdown. We don't need that right now. We looked a little bit about the systems of the body today, the lungs, and we talked about the diaphragm last night. Speaking from well-documented observations as well as a decade plus experience from me, there are a few practices that you can really feel immediate change, transformational change, more than breath work. Breath work is immediate. So that's what I said when you asked your question, which one is like faster. It doesn't matter because you start with breath work. So it's actually the same. When you're too tired, when you can't focus, there is techniques to jumpstart your quickness. It can be very intriguing and interesting to the new yogi. How can I become more magical? That's pretty much this training, but how do I become more magical? So when I was newly practicing pranayama, I told you the story yesterday, they're all yesterdays now. So when I was practicing, I had this time when I was shaking because I wasn't doing my shavasana. Remember I said this story? And so I had built all the prana in my body, but I was not like integrating it. And that was because I didn't integrate after all the breathing, my teacher knew right away. We realized what the problem was. So breath work can super, and the reason I give that example is breath work can super energize you more than you're aware. Sometimes when you just wake up, what do you usually do? We're like waking, maybe we stretch a little bit, but we also. Right? Like just think about what do you do when you first wake up? Think about it. Think about like you're sitting on the couch and you kind of became like in a zombie croissant shape and you're like, okay, it's time to get up. What do? And expand, right? So it's like just we can do that more and hack the body. So even now you can think of, sometimes I'm like, if I'm pissed, uh, I'm very confrontational with things I don't like. Uh, and so a lot of times I have to be like, they're like, my friends are like, don't, I'm like, I'll drop it, whatever, but yeah, I'm controlling myself through the breath. So watch when you maybe do that, or maybe your parent talked to you like you didn't like, or watch your reactions with your breath. What brings a reaction from you with your breath? Yeah, how can you animate it more? Myself, I'm a very animated person. I talk with my full body, I talk with my hands. Like if I'm low on energy, you will know. Yeah, like you can tell. But I'm very animated. So what animates a corpse versus a living person is the breath. And we were saying that bioelectricity, right? Without breath, there's no life. So this is the stacking of the systems of the bodies. We were talking about the bones, we kind of went into that earlier, and then we have the respiratory system, which is breathing system. But bones and skin and muscles don't function if there's not air powering the mechanism and helping with blood pumping oxygen. So our muscles also need oxygen for power. We need oxygen to think. If our brain doesn't get enough oxygen, we become very tired and kind of like in another realm, So oxygen is important. Think about people, I don't know, maybe you have someone very, very old in your life and they're just very old and like think about observing their breath and it's very shallow. And they just kind of have this energy that's just a little more close. Or if you think of someone who's very vibrant, very radiant, and good skin, like they're more breathing and bringing life force in. So breath is life force, and it's going to like very make a difference. We're all breathing nonstop, but it's just the quality of our breath that's going to change where we are. So for us, we will be referring to pranayama as breathwork techniques. That's what it is. Prana is that life force or energy, and yama is like the word yoga is to control or join or yoke. Similar. So control of the prana, life force energy. Doesn't mention air anywhere. It's controlling life force energy. And how we bring life force energy is amplified through the breath. Literally stretching the body from the inside out and activating the body from the inside out. So we have the 4 stages of breathing, several pranayama techniques, natural breathing, which is what we're doing all the time. Diaphragmatic breathing, breathing from the diaphragm, kind of. Everybody will see that. All breathing is diaphragmatic breathing. But when you heavily focus your attention on just the diaphragm. Thoracic breathing, we were talking a little bit about box breathing last night, or breathing into the outer of the ribs. So thoracic breathing is me really focusing on feeling the thoracic spine. So often when we breathe, we think about the chest going up, but we want to also consider how the chest going, and you can see my hands in the mirror, I'm breathing into the back ribs. So that 3D expansion of the body, the tubularness. Clavicular breathing, clavicle. So breathing shallow, or at the end of the 3-part breath when we lift. And lift the clavicle and squeeze and exhale. Full yogic breath, also. All these are just like one part of each of these, the full yogic breath, 3-part breath that we did last night. Ujjayi or ocean sounding is simply adding a thick sound onto the breath. So we have the 3-part breath. And then turn it into ujjayi, it's what's happening in the body just by adding that thick sound to the breath. So that's the ujjayi, ocean sounding, or also victory breath. It's all different. I've even had a teacher call it Darth Vader breath. See, he's in there. Darth Vader from, I'm not a Star Wars person, but I had a teacher call it that. Nadi Shodhana. That's the one we're gonna do here in a second. Kapalabati or breath of fire, we did that a little bit today. Sitali Pranayama, that is a nice like, Sitali means like sipping. That's a good breathwork technique to cool your body down. If you can curl your tongue, I can't, like some people can curl their, yeah, I can't do that. Yeah, okay, so if you know how to do it, you can do it, I never have been able to do it, so it's something you know since you're a kid, I think. So, it's okay if you don't know how to do that, so you can make your hand, you can make this little tongue dip if you can do it, and breathing in. And breathing out from the nose. So this is a cooling breath. This helps a lot in those hot summers we have. It's a super cool, like sometimes when I'm super dying and I'm out like at the bottom of the summer, why did I do that? And so I don't breathe the exhaust, I'll do, because I'm trying to like not get all the dust and the exhaust in when I'm bringing more air, so I'll like cover and do that. B breath, that's really cool, we'll leave that one for later. It's kind of buzzing in the brain and it's like vibrating your lips, breath of joy, that's the one that we put that one. And the lion's breath is with putting the tongue out.
What is the one that is right?
Hmm.
The one is the company.
Kundalini has a few different breath. Yeah. So it could be, but I'm not sure, there's a few. There's quite a few, there's many pranayas. Many. So prana translates to universal life force. So yama to restrain or yoke or join like yoga. So to control, deliberate control of the breath. How pranayam or pranayama, it's the same. Maybe yama is plural, I'm not sure. Yama is plural. One of them is plural, I don't know. Doesn't matter. Breath. Is what it is. It is recommended that you start slowly and always be with a teacher. So be careful of these people doing their like 5-minute breathwork certifications and no other anatomy stuff. Like it's just be careful from this. I was on a retreat this summer in Marsa and I just went because I wanted to go to Marsa. I didn't care about the retreat part of it. And it's hard to get to these beaches. So my friend had access to these beaches, so I was like, I'm here for this. I didn't care about like the wellness person. She was way younger than me, I was like, don't care. Maybe it's a bad attitude, don't care. With Yosef,
I went to them. It's very exclusive.
so I went to the one, the caves.
Yeah, okay.
So I went to the caves, and we kind of with my friend Yusuf, he lives in Sinai, and we did this adventure tour. And there was a girl, what's her name? Salma's Mabruk, she's like some type of life coach, she used to be chunky and she lost some weight and now she's a life coach. But she was a miserable yoga teacher and I was just like, and not organized, so I'm just like, won't listen to you. And you're not like,
That bad?
I'm a diva though, guys, okay? I have my shit going on, okay? So if someone doesn't have their shit going on, I'm like, so I'm a diva. It's not necessarily that I'm right. But I'll just tell you that's how I am. If you're fucking not organized and you're showing up for a retreat and you're not like doing what you should do in the retreat.
Money for it and marketing yourself.
Yeah, and then there's a beach right there and I don't need to even talk to you, I'm going for the beach. No offense. Mother Nature, I'm coming, like I don't need this nonsense. So anyway, this person was leading people through these things and super not certified at all. And any, just that they changed their hair and she became hot. And so she was able to like kind of trick people, yeah, but her body like structure. And cause I said, I go, well, what's her deal, dude? Cause I told my friend, I was like, bro, bro. And he was like, yeah, I know, I go, he's like, yeah, she has like a following, she does have a following. So just because someone has a lot of Instagram followers, it doesn't mean that they're good at what they do. It just means that there's a bunch of people in worse condition than them. And there's always gonna be worse condition than you people out there, hopefully. Hopefully, you're not in the worst condition. I was like, bro, like, I can see clearly what's going on here. I'm not interested, so please excuse me, I'm gonna go enjoy the beach, like that's the whole reason I came to be honest, I don't care about making friends with a bunch of young people, like. It's not gonna be a thing I do. And also, it wasn't anything offering, like I would do yoga on the side by myself. You know what I mean, like I'll go do my own yoga in my own body and not be guided by someone who doesn't know sequencing. And that was also the person who put the faces in the sand of child's pose, so I was just like, it's not, this is not. No, I'm cocky and I have a bad attitude sometimes, girls, I'll tell you this. It's true, but I know my shit very well and like, I will always be like. It's not necessarily right, it's just my opinion, I don't feel like everyone needs to have my opinion, it's fine. Everyone be yourself, it's fine. So be careful of breathwork, long story short, be careful of breathwork gurus, be careful of people who have lots of enthusiasm and no credentials. Ask people for the credentials, a lot of people don't. They're like, I do this now. I went to one class, I'm inspired. I'm a life coach. You know what I mean? Get their credentials. How long did you study? If there's just like an immediate action in chemistry and you're like, I wanna work with this person, go. But if you're looking for a specialist and you just find someone on a list, ask them, don't be shy. Ask them. Even Tina, you're like, can I see you're registered with Yoga Alliance? I'm like, yeah, here it all is. And it's your right to ask that if someone's doing that. A lot of people in Egypt right now are writing that they have these things in the So pay attention.
And I checked with the website, actual
I-
website.
On the Yoga Alliance, they have like a directory.
Yes,
Yeah.
I wrote the.
Yeah, go, yeah, exactly, put the name of the school, go in, and if you can't find it, cause
It was very hard to find.
it was hard to find, I easily couldn't find it. I just have my back office that I can log into my account, so I was like, how do I send this? I was like, I can take a photo of it, like, I wasn't even sure how to find it. I was like, where is this? They just changed all their website and their branding and stuff, I was like, why'd you do that? Cause I finished all of my things and then they changed the brand, I was like, oh. But yeah, always check. And don't be shy to check, be like, oh, you're asking too much, like, if someone can't give you that, like, comfort and reassurance, then fuck them, yeah, you really, so. Make sure you check. And then also you'll be providing this for your students too, and let them know to check. A lot of people, when they get into the wellness scene, they see a yoga teacher, they see a breathwork teacher, they see a woman with a nice body, period. They're like, ah, and they're just like, they put her up. And they won't even dare ask her a question because they just assume that she knows so much more than them. So yeah, be careful of treat people with dignity, that's what it comes down to, not to treat yourself with dignity. So check for certifications, especially in breathwork, because there's a lot, like I mentioned last night, psychosis that can come from breathwork, especially with the weird drugs going on in Egypt right now. For young people, you don't know how they fried their brain, and you know, there's a lot of factors going on. So we have 4 stages of breathing. Uraka inhalation, you will never have to remember that in your whole life. So, but you will remember how to do the thing. So smooth and continuous drawing of breath. Smooth and continuous drawing, so that is the holding in of the breath, okay? What is not smooth and continuous is just like not being aware of the breath. It's just like maybe when we just breathe and we're not thinking and it's shallow. That's not smooth and continuous, that's smooth and long breathe. Full pause after the inhalation. And then that was the Abhyanta, Maka, and then the next one down, the Chakra exhalation. So when I combine them all together, it's technically box breath. So let's think of smooth drawing in inhalation, we're gonna think of pulling in for 6, we're gonna go. Just like shake your breath. And then we're gonna go inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, hold, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, strong exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, nothing, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, again, inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, hold, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, hold out, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, again, inhale, open in the belly, 3, 4, 5, 6, hold, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, hold out, 1 more, inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, hold, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and hold. And let yourself breathe normally. So that is all of these 4 stages of breathing. We just did them as a box breath. So you can make them a little shorter, but we did a little bit longer for the 6 in, and then the hold for 6, and then the 6 out. And that. All of these little details, a smooth continuing release of breath. So I tried to capture that feeling in the counting. Consistent breath. Yeah, and then in smooth breath. So that's all of these stages of breathing together. The bottom one, empty pause, can be intentionally prolonged. The pause complete the cycle. So intentionally prolonged means maybe I feel I still have air inside. And I wanna more squeezing out. And you can, because when you get to the end of that, in the hole, I'm gonna be wanting to go into the inhale. It's like the natural repetition of this cycle. So usually as teachers, again, because it's referred to as box breath, and there's two box breaths. There's the box breath. You can combine them together also. This box breath of breathing into the thoracic laterally, into the ribs this way, and not just thinking of going up, because we always think of this, breathing. So there's that as box breath. Usually if you're in a dance class, that's what they need, ballet especially. And then there's box breath if you're working with breathwork people, you're working with wellness people. You can use that 1, 2, or as a visual 4, 5, 6, hold down, 2 because I'm making the box 3, 4, 5, 6, and so that would be the visual, the line I would use as I'm teaching. Visuals and animation of the teacher helps a lot for people. Natural breathing. Now you're gonna start to be hyper aware of your natural breathing as you take this course. You're gonna just start noticing, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, I'm not even breathing at all. You know, like you're gonna just start catching yourself and being more aware. So let's just breathe normally. Let ourselves go for 4, or just like maybe it's hard to even count when you breathe normally. By observing our breath, we can kind of get an idea of like what's our mental state like maybe we're like everything's fine. You know, and we're not like breathing, or we're not. You know, you're like, oh shit, I'm not breathing, or you just catch yourself multiple times through the day, just not breathing. Notice when you're breathing naturally, and I'm resting, whatever. and we were doing this last night, am I breathing more into my belly? Am I breathing more into my ribs? Am I breathing just here in the center? Just notice. It doesn't mean anything, it's just for you to know. So ujjayi or ocean sounding breath, that's when we bring the thickness. Because I can breathe without that noise, also I can breathe more quietly. But we want to bring this wave or ocean sound as we lengthen our inhale. And we lengthen our exhale. So in regards to exercise, when we start to like amp up the movement gets more heart rate going. I need more oxygen. So when I start to breathe more heavily, if I'm trying, like say I'm doing Stairmaster, elliptical or something at the gym, and I'm doing this, and then I'm very contained. When the air is coming in and out through the nose, it's kind of containing your energy in a way. If I want to have more release, I want to shed energy out through the mouth, is going to be a lot more releasing. Also, in the process of like burning fat, which I don't like talk about that a lot because it's not important. I mean, the process of burning fat, you will exhale your fat. That's where it goes. So if you're doing shallow breathing, if you're like in a body sculpting competition or you're like trying to improve your shape, make yourself get rid of some extra pounds or whatever, trying to slim out, you need to have a good breathwork practice. A lot of people don't even know, maybe they'll do cardio and they'll get the breathwork practice from cardio. They don't realize that they're doing breathwork because you're maybe even breathing through the mouth if you need to bring in more oxygen, but a lot of your fat, how you will exit it from the body after metabolizing and burning it, will be from your exhale. Yeah, it leaves from the exhale. Cause yeah, where does it go? Does it just burn and that has to leave the body, you know? So you don't want it to become in the category of lactic acid. So the more that we feel the body pumping, the more we need to match that with breath pumping also essentially. So this is the one that we did last night that I demoed the wave, and I have kind of what I just did for box breath. We're counting 1, 2, 3, 4. Engage the abdominals, squeeze the abdominals. I've also heard the words triangulate. So if you think of your Kegel exercises, it's like I will start from there when I squeeze my air out. And inhale, expanding, and then it's like I squeeze from bottom to top. It's like I have like my shirt is wet and it's like squeeze the air back up. Be sure to keep that thick sound. That gives it the ocean quality. Alright. So into the Nadi Shodhana, the alternate nostril breathing. I talked a little bit about this, we did it in the morning practice. So the Nadis are again kind of like the superhighways of the body for prana to run through the tissues. We have these other highways, our blood is transported, our lymphatic is transported, interstitial fluid, and it's could be the same word as what it means meridians, Chinese medicine. So this is how chi and prana and life force flows through our bodies. Science has shown that the nasal cycle of the body, just like I was talking about the sleep cycle earlier, alternates the dominant nostril every 90 minutes. So every 90 minutes, one of my nostrils is breathing more strongly than the other one. It's something that we don't even notice, that it's happening. So the Nadi Shodhana breathwork will help reduce stress a lot and stimulate left side of the brain activity and right side of the brain. So it will help integrate these two functional sides of the brain. So let's go into breathwork practice. You can stay seated or stay laying on the floor. And we're going to go into the Nadi Shodhana. So this one, there's a lot of different ways. I've seen people do it like this. And then they do this. They start like this. And do this. I like to do this, it's pretty simple. If I was in like very strict Iyengar yoga class, they're gonna start like this. One. So for Nadi Shodhana. And first I just breathe normally, let's think about 4 breaths breathing normally. And then my first block, I'm gonna block my first nostril, it's my right nostril, it's the one I'm gonna block first. And I'll inhale through the left, so I'll take my hand like this, I put my thumb. And when I block my nostril, I don't go down like under the nostril, I go like up here. Way higher up, and a lot of times I started doing that because I had nose rings on the side and it was just like annoying. So just going up here is just like less, I don't have to be like squish my face, I can just go from here. And then on the other side, the same thing, because it's blocking my hair. So breathing naturally through both nostrils, I'm gonna get my hand ready in that position. My thumb, my right hand, my right thumb comes to my right nostril, and we breathe in from the left. And then I block the left and exhale through the right. And then I inhale through the right. And I block it and exhale through the left. And inhale through the left. And block the left and exhale through the right. So we keep this going. Maybe you can tell which is your dominant nostril right now. I'll inhale through the right. And block and exhale through the left. Inhale through the left. Block and exhale. And inhale. And block and exhale. Inhale through that one. Block and exhale. We just continue, inhale through the right. Block and exhale through the left. Inhale. Block and exhale. Inhale through the same. Block and exhale. Inhale. Block and exhale. Inhale. Block and exhale. Inhale. Block and exhale. We're gonna do one more for each side. Inhale through the right. Block and exhale to the left. Inhale through the left. Block and exhale to the right. My final inhale for this breath work will be inhale through the right. And block and exhale through the left. After that, you can release. And breathe freely through both nostrils. So just that very like instantly calming, stimulating at the same time. Breath, clear, focused, alert. So that one is in Nadi Shodhana. It's nice, you can end a practice with it, or you can start a practice with it. If you're feeling a little bit overwhelmed, you're like, if you're in traffic, it's one that's good to do.
Is it more busy after breathing?
Yeah. Super normal. It just means that you've been breathing super shallow for years or all day, and then you just like gotta like hit of oxygen. You're like, whoa. Yeah, it's normal, and it's also normal to have, like I was saying, when you're doing the breath work on the floor, it's often normal to feel motion sickness, something like motion sickness with the ocean breath until it becomes um more normal. Yeah, super normal. Even I do a lot of breath work, and even sometimes like, well, even from that, just now, I come back in the work, like I'm talking to you, I can really see you that much. I can hear you, I'm a professional. So yeah, no, I can show up and be like, I don't know what's going on and still do my work. But yeah, no, even I had a little bit of dizziness from that, yeah, it's super normal, and I do breath work a lot. And also now I've just been like talking, so I'm not actually breathing, I'm guiding you guys to breathe, I'm like, no, I'm not, you know what I mean? So it's like, I just infused myself with air that I wasn't doing before, that was talking. Like even we did the box breath, I didn't do it, I was just talking. So it's super normal. Are you okay? You're good? Yeah, you'll get to be like, you can be performed when you have to. So this morning we did this in the warm up. Kapalabati is invigorating, turning, activating one. This one might also give you a little bit of highness, but it's nice. Yeah, you can get super high from breath work. So remember when I was saying be very careful about people with psychosis or people with just like unchecked mental health? Because imagine if they go into a feeling dizzy and like they can't take it. You know what I mean? And they're like, maybe have a panic attack or, could go into a panic attack. So that's why it's just like, you want to, you want to just like take people slowly as you can. So for Kapalabati, we're going to inhale through the nose. It's a breath of fire. It's also a really great abdominal activator. So this one I'm going to be, remember last night we did the diaphragm thing, like the flutter? This one we use the air, I'm using my abs to squeeze the air out. So this morning we did it for like 20 to 30. Let's try to go 40 to 50, or just see how many little exhales you have inside of you. Doesn't matter the number so much. So we're going to inhale very deeply. Yeah, so this breath builds heat in the body. It translates to Kapalabati, full shining breath. What is full shining like when you hear that? What does that sound like to you? But like if I'm feeling shiny, like how do I feel? I would think I'd feel more clarity, a little bit of sharpness if I'm shininess, mental clarity. And also builds heat in the body and also engages the abs. So if we take it, let's take a couple breaths sitting and ready. And on my next big inhale, I'm gonna hold it in. And I'm gonna do those little fast pushes, 30 to 40 to start, or just see how many. And inhale in, so I'll just talk a little bit before I go into the next round. So I'm bringing a little bit of air back in when I go. But I'm not like sucking in air, okay? It's very small, and that's why I take a big inhale in before I push all that out. But it is a little bit, tuck, 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 a little bit, but it's not like I'm not taking a full breath in. So again, I'll do it. And inhale. Starting to really feel fire in the belly, you guys feel that? And then exhale again, we'll do one more round. And just rest for a moment. Do you feel that solar plexus area? And it's like now the energy's going in. You can While practicing Kapalabati, the abdomen and the navel draw towards the spine. So remember this eyes on the spine cue that we had earlier? When we say navel draws towards the spine, kind of think it's that deep internal feeling. So that's the feeling when I So this is a good thing to take at the end of your practice, or at the start of your practice if you're feeling like a little crusty and you need to wake up a bit. It's relaxing to the mind also because the feeling and the sound of the breath gives you something to anchor, it's something to focus. So just sit and breathe normally. If you want to do one more, I'm gonna ask you guys, because I was doing it, I want to hear your Kapalabati, so think of you can do a couple breaths to prep yourself, and it doesn't have to all be at the same time, just start your Kapalabati and I wanna hear it. A little smaller too. Out. Then just go until you can and then breathe normally. When you're finished, you can hold your inhale, your big inhale at the top, hold it for 4 seconds. Yeah, it's normal to see some like lights. And then just let yourself integrate. I feel my own self, and you can check how you feel. I'll tell you how I feel after Kapalabhati. Is I feel like if I had any energetic debris in my aura, it's gone. Like I feel very fresh around my aura a little bit after that. I don't know if you guys are like into sensing your aura, but I super am. So any questions for this Kapalabhati, soul shining breath, or breath of fire? It's 3 names for the same thing. I usually call it breath of fire, Kapalabhati, but yeah, you feel this like solar plexus of the abs. I know that you're like not like so much, so just take it easy with anything with the abs. Anyways, this little like again when I'm thinking of clenching the upper ab. And we'll do it again in the warm-up tomorrow morning. This morning we did activation for 4 different ab groups. We did upper ab, we did middle ab, core, upper ab, lower ab, and then glutes. So I isolated all of them, kind of belly dancer style. It's very useful. They don't typically do that in yoga. It's important to know. Like I said, yoga is very linear, and I'm coming from a school of spiral and circle, like my background, so it's like a little more the same. So let's take a minute, take a breath. We're gonna come to standing and do the breath of joy. Actually, you guys can just like sit and I'll show you again. You can make any notes and then we'll do it together. So breath of joy is the one that we did last night. So there's a few elements happening. Yes, we have the breath. This one is different than Kapalabhati in the sense Kapalabhati, I'm focusing on the little exhales, and I use my mouth only because I want to like emphasize it for you guys. It is out through the mouth. You're doing it right, but when I go, I want you to like hear it, and I want to emphasize for you that it's out, 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 out. Okay. So now when I switch into breath of joy, I am doing little Indian in So we had the one where we're swinging our arms, so I'm thinking. Inhale, 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 exhale, so it's. One, two, three, four. 1, 2, 3, 4. So in addition to the breath being rhythmic, the body is rhythmic. So yeah, feel free to watch and then we'll do it all together. So this vibe, this thing up. So I can think, if you need help with your swing or your double bounce, you're gonna think when my hands are here and bent. So I go and up and up. So I'm like coming through. But did I say the opposite of that? I'm bent when my hands up. So and up and up. So I'm using the up to throw my energy. Throw. So down. My arms are coming up. You can think palms. Well, my palms will be forward for the time. I'm gonna think up, open, up, down. So we have a few layers of coordination happening. So let's break down the arms together. So we did the breath already. We went again. In. One more. So that's our 10-point we hang out. And the bounce. The softness in the knee. Swinging the arms. So then I'm gonna add just the arms. So I'm gonna think of just the arms without the bounce, and then I'll add it all together. So I'm thinking inhale. Inhale with the open. And then back to the first one. And then down. And then up. Open. Up. Down. Up. Open. Up. Down. And when I go down, I usually will widen my feet a little bit in this one because I want to go down, but I don't want to like whoop. Not this time. I don't want to do that. So I want to be like really here, 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 and then. So this form, this bending of the thighs and that is very important. And then I just like use that to swing myself back up. Okay. So let's do. What does it say? I usually do 2 or 3 down. This is also doing double thumbs, bend down, do it 10 times. Yeah, this one is a good one. And it's also fun if you're working with a group that's like taking themselves very seriously and they're too cool to move. You know, the dentists are too cool to move. Yeah. Yeah, people who are just like, yeah, they're just like very like, and they're just rigid, and it's not even. It's like, dude, loosen up. You're such a tight ass, yeah. So it's a good, again, like we were saying, just like getting people moving and getting them loose. It's not aesthetic. It's a feeling. It's again like throwing the body. Like sometimes I'll get people also, not to go so far off topic, but I'll also, if I have a group that's like a little uptight or like. They'll be good in a few minutes, but I just need to like break the ice for them. I'll get them to kind of just like swing. And it's very like. There's no right or wrong for that, and they kind of know, and you can feel that sense of it's just like, it's not important, my outcome. So I throwing the body in any way. I'm like, okay, throw. Or like, what does it feel like if you like throw your body? So I'll kind of get people to move in an abstract creative way if they're just really locked in their mind. You know, because sometimes it happens a lot. Sometimes a lot. So breath of joy is really, really great icebreaker. It's a good way to start. When you're dealing with a class that's a little uptight, you know what I mean? And it can happen. And sometimes as a teacher, you might think you're not uptight. And then you arrive and you have these people that are uptight and it makes you feel uptight.
Yeah.
You're like, oh no, I feel awkward. You know, so we always reverb, we always kind of bounce off of each other. And then it also helps you get into your body and be grounded also.
Reminds me of being a child, you know, and they just stand there and they're just like raising them up and they're just
Yeah.
they're swinging their arms like
You know, it's funny because like I've been a dancer and a mover for so long. Like I'll be out in the street talking to people like, oh yeah, then what happened? Like what were they doing? You know, like and I'll just be like talking, I'm like full lunging, you know, and I'm not thinking of it. I just want to be like I'm used to being in a studio with people who are in studios, so we're just moving around like, yeah, you know, and then I went to get the sandwich and then you know, whatever, like just casual moving. Yeah. Let's think moving. Let's normalize casual moving. Yeah, normalize casual moving and not, yeah, or like, oh god, is that you guys said that the other day, or like going out to dance and people are just so not a vibe. They're just like, I'm like, am I in the West? This is so bad. I was like, I want to see, I want to see like vibe. You know what I mean? But yeah, people are trapped in their body. And on that note, that's your job as yoga teachers to get people in your body. But it's not just when you come to the front of the class, it's how you operate in day-to-day spaces. Like if you are out and you are talking to someone and you're like, yeah, what did you do today? How was your weekend? You know what I mean? And just normalize it, make it normal. I had a thing for a while on the internet that I wanted to normalize women eating online. So when I did my lives talking to my people, I would be eating something. I'd be like, yeah, and then I'm doing this, whatever. Like, you know, just like chew with my mouth closed, of course. But I was like, yeah, I'm just like, or eat a cucumber or an apple or something like that. Like, I'm gonna eat on the internet. I'm hungry. You know what I mean? So I would wait, I would have my snack and do my video to just like normalize it's okay for women to eat, you know? Because I had so many people be like, oh, you have to be like, I'm like, please stop. Yeah, just be a human. There's no you're not fooling anyone. We all have to do the same things in the run of the day. We have to go to the bathroom, we have to eat, we want someone to like rub our head or tell us it's nice. Can I go to the bathroom? Yeah, go ahead and then we'll do. Yeah, and we want someone to tell us this, or feel this way. We all have the same things every day, you know? So what is going on? You know, what is going on to have your secondhand embarrassment? But it is a thing when you walk into a room. If the people are awkward there, it can really throw your vibe. Like when I was a new teacher, I went to teach belly dance at the jail for women. Yeah, it was really, I'll never forget this. And it was like a snow day in Canada. I almost canceled, and then I was like, oh, I can't cancel because everyone cancels on these ladies, I'm sure. They're like forgotten, they're in jail. Yeah, I mean, no one wants them. And then when I arrived, I was like, and I was like, we're gonna do a belly dance class, and it's so cute. And I arrived like cute, and then I had my little speaker, and I was like ready. And then I arrived, and the ladies were like, yeah. I was like, yeah, they were like, this like, I was like, oh, I was so nervous. Like my voice was like I was like I was like, oh, and they did extract. Yeah. I was just like, oh my fuck. And I was like younger, yeah, in my 20s, yeah, younger, like 25 then. I was like, holy shit, I'm so intimidated right now. And those ladies, you know, they voted out of some activities. They could have yoga, the belly dance, some other stuff. They picked belly dance. But what I realized when I arrived is that they didn't want a class. They wanted to watch someone else. And it wasn't that they just couldn't. They just simply couldn't. Like, here is these women that their dignity was taken from them. They were wearing gray jogging suits in the jail. It's like, this is just. So yeah, they wanted to watch. And I was like, okay, and come into your home position and then squeeze your glute. And they were just like, yeah, they were just like, squeeze this. And I was like, you know, so I had to kind of change. I was a little traumatized. Well, I'm still traumatized from that. But yeah, I was definitely had to like pull my resolve as a teacher and like shift the vibe, because that almost paralyzed me. I didn't know what to do. Yoga, it's not always so severe, you're not so on display, and people can participate without putting themselves out there so much, because it has nothing, it's not any artistry at that point when you're teaching people. They're not displaying their artistry. We're just making a shape with a line. So when you're belly dancing, even if you're doing beginner technique, it's still, you're kind of like revealing more of yourself.
Yeah,
And those ladies just simply couldn't.
yeah.
You know what I mean? You might also have students in yoga that simply couldn't, and they thought it was a good idea for them to, I heard yoga is good, and then they get there and they have a mental freeze. So, you know, just like learn to read the room. That'll be a very important skill.
Especially when. I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that pose.
I know.
Just do it.
Just do it, bro. Yeah. They're like, someone will think I'm gay.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what it is. Someone will think I'm gay. I'm like, okay. You know, I get some men, I think I mentioned, like sometimes they like do requests for private lessons through my LinkedIn. And like, I know they don't want to come for yoga, they want to try to, they think that I'm gonna be so impressed by their talents and their beauty that I'm gonna forget about yoga and it's gonna become a porno.
Yeah.
That's what they think is gonna happen. I handle them so hard.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, downward dog. I'm like, I'm like, oh, like I'm rough on them.
Maybe
Yeah.
I'm seeing weak, so.
Yeah.
They feel like they.
Yeah, no, I'm rough on them, and I'm like, no, and I make them do a lot of balancing poses. And they're like,
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah, I'm stronger than you.
yeah. No, I've had quite a few, or I'll take my big stick for them. So I'll be like, okay, let's just figure out the story on it. Yeah. What do I need that for?
Yeah.
Maybe I need her, I'll get them to do downward dog with the leg back, and I'm like, up. And they're like, oh. I'm like, straddle, sit, down, press up, like I'll handle them really hard. But I'm also a fucker, so. Just depends on your personality, but what you wanna deal with, you don't have to, you know? For a while, I was saying women only for class, and I was like, well, I've gotten a lot of creepy men. But I've also had some really awesome men, that's fine, it's also still.
And insecure, fragile, it's really.
There's a lot of creepy ones, unfortunately, but yeah, I had I had a lot of creeps, but I had lots of ones that are very inspirational, like I have one guy now, he's 47, he started yoga, he was stressed, he's like a restaurant owner here in Coyote, and a lot of restaurant chains, he has like 50 employees or something crazy, and like he's just like, I heard yoga is good for stress. And I was like, you know, he's like chain smoking. I'm like, okay, it's good for stress. Like, but like everything else you're doing is not good for stress, you know? And so he's been coming twice a week since August. He just finished his like 12 weeks, like with my travel schedule also, like his 12 weeks. And his wife and his kids are like, wow, what did you do? And he said he didn't tell anyone he's coming to yoga. He's like, it's my personal time, I just disappear.
Yeah.
And even his male friends are like, oh dude, you're looking like more like your access, yeah, you're looking more open. And I mean, he still has his kiddish whatever, because he eats a lot of his restaurant is shawarma, whatever. So, but he physically, he's a decent looking man also, but he looks really good after he didn't like much better. He was a decent looking man, but kind of like 47 became older. And yeah, if you just don't move. And he's like, well, Lahi, you make me so relaxed. I go, it's not me making any, it's you. You have energy stuck. And I'm just showing him how to move it, you know, because he was arrived like this, and now he's like open, chest is open, everything's good, and I make him suffer a lot. You know, we'll do a 2-hour lesson. He's like, no, well in a while I want to stop. I'm like, no, I go, no, you need to finish this and you need to do your relaxation. He's like, no, please. and I'll make them a tea at the end of the lesson, whatever. We're in Egypt, you know? And I was like, listen, you do your relaxation and I'll make the tea, but don't move, you know? He's like, no, I don't want to. Like after he was like fighting with me, I want the lesson to be done now. I'm done, I'm tired, I'm in comment. I was like, I don't care. I'm not like, you have to finish, you know? So but he's had a very, very amazing improvement in his just physical circumstance, and he keeps coming. He keeps coming. So it's yeah. You are in control of the room when you have students, and you have to be okay with that. It's like not the Canadian, oh sorry guys. Like when I had my workshop in Berlin, it was so many people. And then like while I was breaking something down and there was just a little lull and people started talking. And then everyone started, I was like, shh. Everyone's like, whoa, I'm like, sorry, but I gotta stay in control. It's a lot of people. They're like, people can respect that. So take your place in the front of the room if that's what you're doing. Because you can't just walk in and do it. No, it's gonna be like, where's the teaching? You know what I mean? So it's like walking, know what you're doing. So okay. Let's go back to that. And part of how you claim that space is how you appear in your energetic body and your physical body. So okay. Settle into the body, let's breathe. We're gonna move into that breath of joy. I'll turn to the side. So just remember, I'll just mark the arms again. We're going inhale, 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 and exhale. So we'll begin, we'll do 10, I'll keep track. So let's begin. And 5, and up, open, up, down, 4 more, 1, open. It's inhale, 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 exhale, and 2 more. And 1 more, up, open, up, down. Stay down for a moment, breathe. And slowly start to roll, take your time. And then we're gonna do round 2, so get ready. So remember, it's up, open, up, out, and again, inhale, inhale, inhale. And 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 keep going. 3 more, inhale, 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 exhale, good. Strong inhale and strong exhale, 1 more. We'll hang out down and yeah, rest. Notice your body wants to take more oxygen for sure, it does, so let it. And then slowly roll up. It's kind of normal to feel shwaya lightheaded. You can also just step from side to side or even just walk around your place. And integrate. Little walk around. How do you feel from that? Yeah, yeah. Can be busy, but more energy. Any questions? On the swing, it gets better. So remember, it's up, open, up, down.
You're keeping it quite active in your.
My
hands
hands
like
up.
that energy.
Yeah,
You're throwing.
yeah, I'm throwing.
Yeah.
Boom. I was actually thanking you for that, because it's like if I hit you, here, I'm not gonna hit you that hard, but if I went like up, open.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
so I'm going up,
Okay.
up, down, done. So if you were beside, you'd be like, okay, you would feel it, so I'm like, here, here, arm up, open, like I'm throwing it.
Where's Emily?
Yeah, I'm throwing it hard, yeah, good observation and good note. Yeah, so I'm throwing that, what else does that do? In Qigong, they have this like warm up where we bounce. And I'm not even doing anything for my shoulders, but I'm letting them kind of bounce. And then you can bring your arms up. And I'm just throwing. So this is a really good exercise for your lymph, to move your lymph through your body. And just loosen up the body. Anyway, shake it. So it's kind of a similar boom, boom, boom. It's really good for the lymphatics to move. But there's always, in the dance world, we call it like, if I were just to be like, okay guys, so it's like up, open, out, down. That's called marking it. I'm not really doing it. Or like if I was like, I'm gonna show you like a turning. And now I'm gonna mark it for you. So I'm gonna do it like slow mo and show you in slow mo. So there's a difference between marking it and committing fully to the energy. So what do I want to do? Think about also that shoulder blade work we did last night. I'm throwing my shoulder blades. I'm not containing this. Most of the other time I'm like, contain this, keep the ribs and the hips on top of each other. Here, I'm letting it fly. Everything's flying. Just throw it. Or maybe one arm goes a little more than the other even, it's okay. Another good exercise to do is just arm sweeps this way.
My brain's always like, don't go too much because you're gonna hit the light. Like I've got like a restriction mentally.
Yeah, no, yeah, nice. I see. So here, you can have them as your flow arts. Yeah, so anyone that does flow arts, you can do front, you can do back. And again, it's just opening that range of motion, taking into account all of those. Any questions about breath of joy for right now? As mentioned earlier, pranayama can be a subtle yet very effective stress reliever and mood enhancer. Why wouldn't I be in a good mood after I was just shaking everything? You know what I mean? I kind of didn't remember to not have a good mood, so it's kind of like moving.
It's very freeing.
It's freeing, and like we were talking about how other people's body language can dominate something and make everyone feel awkward. They can't, I've had a few situations with some of my loved ones recently that I'm like, your energy is shit. You need to like stop. Like you're directing bad vibes at me. And I'm like good at countering it, but like I love you so much. So you're really bothered. It's really bothering me. So you can fuck off. I'll have that kind of heartfelt conversation with my love. Like your energy is you're bad. You need to it's not just me. First I'll reflect and I'll be like, okay. No, you're being a fucker, can you stop, So it's like someone else's energy can super affect. So then we have to also understand we can have that effect on people too. We can be the shitty one that needs to fuck off, what I mean? It can also be us. So just keep in mind that we are managing. If you're going to class and you had a very bad day, as an example, like you better do something before you go to class. You don't want to go in being all like in a bad, like it's not a good, and you don't want to go in and tell your students, oh, it's such a day up or what, like keep it to yourself. Right? Maybe over time you will have students that are also your friends. Not saying that that's impossible. Most of my students have all become my friends at some point. But I also try to give them that gift of professionalism when they know me, and so they also know that like I have a full rounded life. Maybe there were some problems or something exciting. Same as you don't want to be in like, you could be like, yeah, it was a really good day today. You don't want to be like, I did this is a good day, and go, keep to the material. Maybe you have an interesting anecdote or a story to tell that relates to the material. That's super helpful because it makes the experience more relatable. It's not just like clinical in a laboratory. It like makes it more relatable. So I'm gonna use the washroom real quick, and now we will get ready for hip opener practice. And You wanna have a couple blocks. For sure. And then have a mat, yeah, grab a couple blocks if you don't have. And then have a drink. That'll just be 2 minutes. And I'll shift the lights from this way. Just tell you. So. Remember what I was mentioning earlier about the pelvis? We were talking about your pelvis in space. And how to free it. How to think of that. So we're gonna do a series of lunges. Are you guys good for temperature? Do you want me to close the door, leave the door? It's good?
Yeah, we're gonna be moving it.
Yeah, good. Perfect. I know this corner like. Alright. So we're gonna start on our back like we did yesterday. Take your time. And then we'll actually take one block and have it to the side. Close to us. So as you come onto your mat. Breathe in. Then exhale, settle into the floor. Slowly allow awareness to come to your breath, where you're lengthening your inhale. And you're lengthening your exhale. Let's bring our awareness to our breath for 4 of these. And lengthening the inhale. And then lengthening the exhale. And lengthening the inhale. And lengthening the exhale. And stay with it for the next 4 breaths. So really thinking. See if you can get that ocean sound into your breath. And squeeze the air out. And 3 more, staying with the breath. Feeling the sensation of your breath entering at the tip of your nose. And as you exhale, it can leave from the mouth or the nose, your choice. And begin. And so similar to last night's practice, let's begin to arch in the low back as we inhale, filling the belly, arching the back. And as we exhale, contracting, squeezing the abs, pressing the feet, pulling the belly button into the floor. And continue. So following this movement, synchronizing movement and breath. And pressing into the floor again. Then like that. Okay. Let's follow this again for another 4 breaths. And starting to bring awareness, you can even have your hands on your pelvis. Remember, we're going to focus on freeing the pelvis. Your pelvis gives space. So inhaling, filling the belly with air. So on the exhale, I'm going to keep my back pressed into the floor, and then we talked about making the sacrum, low back like a claw, circling the low back. Before we've done this with our knees pulled in, but just keep your feet on the floor, and I'm using my feet to press into the floor. So I'm going to circle. And keep breathing. Inhale. And exhale. And circling, pressing the whole sacrum into the floor. So this is also super fascial unwind. And inhale, I'll bring my pelvis and my knees to the center. And then I'm going to bring my block that I have, and I'm going to lift my hips. I'm going to place the block under the sacrum. So find a position where it feels okay. And this is giving me a little traction from the low spine, the lumbar spine, where it joins, and just rest and keep breathing. So I have it, yeah, under my low back. And even if the block kind of tilts up, I have my block like it's kind of tilting, because as I put myself on it, then I walk my shoulders back to become long as I can. I'm gonna extend one leg along the floor, my left leg. And then I'm gonna just bring my right knee in. So along the front of the left leg, I can feel it really open through that hip socket because I have this bit of lift. We have a back bend going on because of the lift of the block. Or upward fold. And just breathe. And extend through that lengthened leg, open through the front of the hip, breathe. Inhale. And on your exhale, extend your second leg along the floor, long, long, long. And then you can bring that other leg in. Switch. So now opening through the front of the hip. So the fascia that surrounds our hips, that connects our low back to the upper back, the thoracic and the lumbar. We call this the thoracolumbar. Again, crashing the words together to make a new word for anatomy. You'll see it a lot. We're gonna start to dig into this. We did a little bit with our evening practice of Yin last night, and we're gonna kind of take that and go a little deeper. So now both legs along the floor, both arms overhead. Enjoy this extension and back bend. And now I'll bend both of my knees again. I'll lift the hips and take the block out. Then slowly roll down one vertebra. Placing the low back on the mat. Feel if you feel any more spaciousness in this area. And allow your hips to just tilt a little bit side to side. So bringing back in that 3-part breath. And then we'll slowly let our knees fall to one side. Remember, you can have the block in between the knees, and you can also have one block on the outside of the body if you don't want them to go all the way. So this is a nice, easy step. And then I'll open the arm, the opposite arm away from my knees are pointing in one direction, the arm on the other side. We'll take 4 breaths here, stretching into the side waist. A very gentle twist. Bring that, if you put a block between your knees, keep it there. Bring yourself back to center. And I'll take my other block and take my legs over to the other side. So again, you could open the arm on that side, lengthening through the side body. And slowly bringing yourself back to center. Place your blocks to the side. And then from this position, we can roll up, like bringing the knees in and roll up, or you can also use your elbows, pushing the elbows into the floor to help you to roll up. So come to facing into this pose nest from our yin of the chora. Again, you can have the blocks under or you don't need, you can experiment with having the feet closer or farther away. It's yogi's choice. Also remember the untucking. And then letting yourself fold forward, let gravity take you. It's not aesthetic. Really let your breath stretch into the thoracolumbar fascia. So thoracolumbar, that's like in that low back strap area where the ribs are ending, and just where it has these layers of fascia. In this area of the back, we have like 8 layers of fascia piled on each other. This is the most dense, fascially dense area of the body. It's protecting our organs from the back, in addition to the rib cage. And so breathe and expand into this area. So being so dense, as you can imagine, it's really hard to stretch, super hard to stretch. And it takes time plus stress. So remember that plastic stretched earlier. That's what's going on. So we'll be here for another 3 minutes. So really activate the breath. So feel the body inflating on your inhale. See if you yield to gravity a little more on the exhale. You don't have to. Just notice if you do or not. Really trying to feel into those tensions that might be extending up from your hips. So the thoracolumbar fascia, all those layers of fascia goes down, and connects and overlaps and intertwines inside of our glutes and into the hips and into the IT band. Maybe you're stretching along the back, not necessarily the groin. All of it needs to be open before you can move into the next piece. So find your lines of tension and be with them. You move my hand. You're here for 3 minutes, so just be sure to move slow-mo. Take your time to slowly come in. And in yin yoga, we have something we call the rebound. So the body may feel like it wants to do a counter pose. Don't do it. Counter pose is more hatha style, so again, we want to kind of remember when I was stretching that plastic and I just want to kind of let it. To let yourself extend back into your natural shape. Inhale and exhale. So we're gonna same as last night, extend into the night. Keep the block under one knee. This is the one that I can choose to pull from the side, extend from the side, or I can put it. It's your choice. So feel where. Again, we're thinking about our hips as the central point. So I'm gonna reach up and feel. Where do I have my tension? Maybe it's not even that far of field. Here, I have a stretch on the upper, the top of my iliac crest. The iliac crest, and then I'm getting a massive stretch right there. Maybe you're stretching somewhere else. I'm going to choose the option where I put my hand behind. Thanks, and a little bit into that. Okay, I put the block in that one because I'm not ready to go all the way yet. I'm already realized this side of the leg above the iliac. And then I'm stretching it even more, making the in. Be sure to pull your breath in, slowly. A little hold at the top of the inhale and deep breath. We're applying tension, stress to the tissue with our form, with the shape that we're taking. And then we're also applying stress and stretch to our body by inhaling, stretching, expanding the body larger from the inside out. Ujjayi or your ocean sounding breath. Inhaling. Move the bottle. And then I'm gonna remove the block and let myself kind of fall a little more to the side, very melting. And then let myself roll. So it doesn't matter how far you go to the front, you can bring your elbows, you can bring your block front, and then just like wait. You can also be here in your head hanging if you want more neck stretch, but that's too much, or you can also be. That was nice like that. See, will maximize any movement and opening the hips. Inhale next. And slowly, I'm gonna press into the floor and roll up. And taking your sweet, sweet time, super melting. To kind of let your body unfurl naturally from the front. Breathe and stretch. So remember, we're going to treat the body very heavily. We're going to move. I'm going to start to pull my other leg in. Slowly extend. So we're going to flip side. So the block. Yogi's choice. You can decide if you tip over to the side or if you rotate. Just go where you feel that first line of tension. Anchor in. Keep that ujjayi breath consistent and strong. And if you're finding that the line of tension that you applied is like, I can't keep a smooth breath because my tension, back away off the tension a little bit. Slowly it will yield with gravity. We don't want to force it, not yet. And stretch the lid, so. If you're going to bend like that, it's gonna super low. So over, shoulder, extend like that. So I'm holding a little bit, and I'm also controlling the skirt of my body. This is I like to like extend it. I'm putting tension here instead of back. Does that make sense? This like so I'm going to it's pulling from here, so it ranges down. And letting my neck bend. Yeah, this pulling back, the shoulder kind of rotates me a little bit, and then I get that like. So yeah, think of your body. Don't let yourself pinch too low. I always want to stay extended and then over to the side. So like our half moon pose that we were in, like that. So very slowly, and let yourself and rotate. This is the one if you want to clear. Block your hands, so that you low back and side rest. This thing has its own form. Oh, this one. Remember, try not to go into any counter movements, just go back into neutral position, feel the reverberation of that tension released in the plastic tissue. So next, I'm gonna give you a choice. Last night in the sequence, we went into wide leg up, forward fold or straddle sit. You can still do that one tonight. I'm gonna give you the option of, again, sitting up on that block. And that will be more aggressive on the inner side, or you can, if you wanna be more aggressive on the inner side, you can come also into it. Let's do front, we'll say this one, let's go into front, actually. Just be sure that your knees don't hurt. Here, my booty is back. Okay, I can be more forward. But I wanna be back. Just go where you find that stretch. Hang on. And tell you stretching. Same thing, you can use your blocks anywhere. You can use your blocks if you want them. All times. And your feet, let them go however they go naturally. Mine went like this. It can be like that. They can be to the side. They can be how they go naturally. Don't overthink it. Just make sure that doesn't feel bad and hurting anything. So when we're balanced and I'm using, I have my weight on the elbows for this one, I can also like come forward and see how it is, and also go back and see how it is. This one is like a little more aggressive, so be sure to keep breathing. I'll just stay here for 2 minutes. I want to find that line of tension. Keep in mind our purpose, why we're here. We want to free the hips from all sides. So now, if I have a little glance at my skeleton, think of the cords and the ropes of muscle and fiber and fascia that we were thinking about all day, and how they're connecting from the inner thigh and connecting into the groin. Now I'm gonna open that a little bit, have my pelvis a little more free. We have about 1.5 minutes left. Breathe. Spend 1 minute. So just a little micro movements you can do. Tiny, tiny movements. Maybe I wouldn't see them if I'm looking. Maybe someone from the outside wouldn't see them, but tiny little shape. I find it really building that plastic tissue. Remember, we saw that other one happen if they went too fast on the plastic tissue. So we want to be slow, mindful, keep breathing. So when we can keep, even when we're putting stress on the body, if we can keep that slow breath in and out, we're telling the nervous system, yo, it's fine. Because when we stop breathing, it's like, oh, I think that there's a problem, the body starts to get scared. So we'll come out of this one. I'm gonna just like start to crawl forward and take the tension off until I can kind of roll, and I'll just come to belly down slowly. Yeah, just come out of the path of least resistance. Forward. I'll let my legs go, and I'll just do a little rotation on either side. So just rotate the legs. And slowly push yourself up. And now we'll go into the straddle sit. So straddle sit and move slow. That one's so intrusive. It's good for you. So now straddle sit is a little bit different dimension. I would take any slow counter stretch that you need for that. And don't worry, we'll do like this. Some countering, but we want to try, like I said, try to resist the urge to counter stretch strongly in because we're doing this like the plastic what I showed you today, we're slowly stretching. So if we counter stretch, it causes the fibers to rub against one another, but we really want to let them have that reverberation where they just kind of like, oh, so that just happened, you know? So coming into your straddle sit, remember tucking. If you need to sit on a block, I can get you more blocks. And we have some more mats today from Amazon, sitting on a rolled mat. Block or a rolled mat, does anyone like opening it? We might just open these all actually. I would really like you guys to try that option. The rolled mat. Thank you, Amazon. It's not as high as this block. And it's a really nice assist. I'm gonna get one for everyone, actually. That's really great. So having an extra mat is good for this video. But if you're at home, you can use lots of different cushions. There's a lot of good. And so then thinking about wow, this is a little different feeling than the frog, right? So frog was like more up inside, and this one's a little more expansive down through. Some people say they even are stretched into their knee, they feel it. We want to keep, if we have any pressure or feeling acute sharpness in the knee, we want to not have that. So yeah. So when you're sitting on your mat, the mat is a little less high than the block. Here, I'm just gonna put it on the trash. It's a little bit better than the block. So. Everything, now you guys have your blocks in front. And maybe you get to stretch all the way down into your ear. And I can use my feet also. For that, which I'm gonna need to do. So this one. This one, get used to it. Do it a lot. Gonna help everything. So your upper body, you can just let it out. You can experiment also, how does it feel when I go to your foot in a little bit? How does it rotate when I move my foot up? I can control my rotation of the upper, my head. That's what I manually rotate. You know. Slow tension. Working further in a little bit different way. But do you feel the quality of this one different than the frog? The frog is the one we just did.
This one. this one, this stretching is big.
So,
From the hamstring side, the front was more like from.
in the adductors, yeah, so the front was more, yeah.
Yes.
Okay, yeah. Exactly. So even though they technically are working on the same segment of the body, they are slightly different. And so anytime that I even make a little adjustment, a rotation, anything, it can change my stretch movement. Breathing, yeah. 2 minutes. Your pelvises are gonna be like driving you home after the pelvis and space. And out of all the practices and all of the places of the body to maybe focus on for opening, your flexibility around all the muscles that surround the pelvis, again, it's this very meaty real estate of the body. This is super important. Opening through the pelvis and the glutes and all of this area is going to free you in the upper back and neck. You can have issues in the upper back and neck because it's literally being pulled from the thoracolumbar fascia. So really freeing the pelvis can really give you again more freedom in the upper body. And also a healthy pelvic floor, train you to be more open. A lot of times this area for women especially, we're very closed, it's closed, and being in this position is awkward a lot of times. So it's also a way to train your subconscious to be more okay with the open feeling in the body.
They say the hips feel emotions in the body. Do you think that's true?
It would be more of the psoas, which runs through the hips. So that's a very important muscle that we'll get into tomorrow. So yeah, it's not untrue, but it's not 100% true. But, you know, they say a lot of things. They say a lot. We store emotions through our whole body, all of our fascia, all of our tissues. Like when we have an adhesion, it could be even for like we saw something that's bad, and like, you know, we glitch and we make a little salty or we make a little piece in our body. And if we don't address it, it just stays with something we're living with. It stays inside of our body too. So yeah, the emotional muscle that they say is stored in the hips. A lot of times they say also shame, grief, is stored in those areas. We have a muscle called the psoas that connects on the inner thigh. And it goes up and it connects to my back. Through here. So that is through the hips. So very, very deep. It connects to where the eyes on the spine hurt. So that goes through that. It's like this, the one that touches the through to the it crosses through the pelvic, it crosses through kind of over the pelvic, through the pelvic floor. And so very slowly, we're gonna let the tension off, but we were here for 5 minutes, so slow, at least 10 minutes. Go slow mo, let your body catch it, don't think about it. Go slow. Your body will kind of unfurl or rebound is the word that we use from it. Let it happen. Watch it happen. So watch and let. And so bringing your legs slowly as you're take your time. So when you get to this position, we'll go into some windshield wipers with the legs. So just go super slow. So we're moving through all the parts of the leg, especially because the leg attaches to the pelvis, the bottom. It attaches a lot. So very slowly, I'm gonna bring my feet in front of me. You can stay seated on the mat or on your block, but have a block maybe in front of you. And we're gonna just do a seated forward fold assisted with the block or on the mat for that little bit of flip. And so now I'm going back into thoracolumbar fascia lift. I want to give you a few notes on this. If you find that the stretch, like when you go down, it's very stretchy here, take it out of there. Try to bring it into here. So I can have a few different areas of stretch. Maybe I need to bend my knee a little bit to be more in my back, or you can make the choice to stretch more in the back of the leg. If I keep my torso more straight and I reach for the back of the leg, I'm going to stretch more through the back. Do you guys feel that? And then if I round, like I can get a pretty decent stretch right here. But I don't want to go here and go into my upper back. It's not for that reason. So I support myself a little bit. Again, if you have a block or cushion here, you can. Or you can choose to stretch your leg. And again, think about the back for this one. If there's a herniated disc in the thoracic, that's why we don't want to put the pressure on it. It can just be really, really intense for that area of the back. It doesn't mean that. For back of the leg stretch, I prefer standing. Closest to that. And we'll get to there too, but I just want to kind of go around the leg with our seated stuff before we move into more acting. Moving into the back, moving into the third lumbar fascia. And slowly from this one, you can bring yourself up. Just allow that rebound effect, whether it's in the legs or the back, just sit in staff pose, this L shape. So next, we're gonna attack the outside of the thigh. So what did we have for that? We have pigeon. In Yin, they call it sleeping swan or figure four. So remember those two options. So again, moving mindfully, you take the mat or the blocks out. You can decide, am I gonna do a figure four today, or do I want to take it into a pigeon? Whatever one I go into, just go melty. Well, my objective is this outside the leg. Or again, like I said, one thing outside the leg. Anybody in the back, there's a common cue. There's a common cue that yoga teachers will use quite a bit. And class where they'll say, take the shin and make it parallel with that. See if you can walk your leg, it's not gonna go parallel. But just make sure. And I'm not with. The other way I'm going to first, also just that I don't have the block really big, so even the holding that, and it's smaller than my block, which might be more stable. Without it, like being smaller than that, and it's just really nice. So then, ultimately, body down. And then I can even walk my torso away and move from them. So some key things to look for and be careful, just make sure you can maintain your movements whatsoever. The pressure really shouldn't be there at all. I feel really here for myself, you know, all of this one. I just am talking to you guys, so that's like I'm not super honest. So if you want to be like, no, please leave them. It's not, I just have to like stay with, if I go down and it's the relationship. Super giving out, super nice. I like to do a little bit of my mouth in and out, but I mean, I'm very small shifts side to side, very small. Not a lot. A little bit of my fashion, and that's what she is. Right, so I make adjustments for yourself. Maybe again, I'm not one thing per body over more of a stretch. Way. Body, you have to keep that consistent breath happening because it lets safe. It's the same time in your body. Hey, I'm doing something intense a little bit too, but we're actually fine and it's really good and we're good. So I'm keeping it like probably the natural time. So it's great. In winter time, I love to begin early in the morning. More than in the summer, I don't know, I love to begin more in the winter than the summer. It's just the beginning season in the winter. So I come out here with my blanket, something like a blanket, and I do all my life under a blanket. I'm still almost half asleep. Like when I come out from bed, I'll do my meditation, brush my teeth to a meditation, and I'll bring an ice bath and blanket, it'll be under it. My Yin Practice. And it's very present. Hi, get them out of bed. Yeah, that's some blankets for that actually, they're all for my kids. Just my best. Slowly breathe. So very slowly, just roll out of the tension. I always see it's like kind of least resistance, so I just kind of roll out of it. To see how I can just take that tension in mind. And then from this one, when I just take that tension in mind, and I'll use that instead of that. Very nice and very nice. And then from there, just like put yourself on the other side. Remember, it's possible to do figure four on one side and Joe on the other. So you. And then remember, if you're hip, if you can see mine in the mirror, guys, if you're up elevated off the ground, that's when you do something. Whether it's a blanket, whether it's the block. Sometimes the block is a little too high. So the folded mat, or if you have like your sweatshirt, or literally I took this like strap. That is good. Like sure. And experiment with the level at home. And then it also can change as you open your flexibility. So remember the cue of if it's there for you, if it causes you no stress in the knee, you will take it. The lower leg towards more parallel with the upper. That's definitely not parallel, purely in the upper mat and rocking the upper body open. People only have like 10 minutes to do letting you know. Wide leg and this one, super important. But we only have a few minutes for yin under 15. These ones on each side, the glute stretch is super important and the wide leg focus. So I don't know if you watch any series at home or anything like that, you can yin and watch your series. It's pretty like non-active. I can watch something maybe where I know what's going on and have my timer or whatever. So at the same time. I mean, you don't get the full experience of yoga when you're distracted in something, but what I'm trying to offer you is like practicality of time. You know what I mean? I understand how it's life. And when I can stack my tasks or overlap my tasks, I do it. It makes me feel very effective and very I'm trying to know. So when you're in a yin class, you might do like 5 or 6 poses. It's not like in the sequence 8 today, we did like 12 or 13, 15. Because yin, we're holding them longer, we're being more mindful with them. Not that we're being more mindful, actually, we're just, we're holding them longer, we're kind of slowing everything, slowing everything down. Wait a second. Very slowly begin to take your path, at least resistance, rolling off of the tension. Whether it's rolling forward, rolling back. Take yourself slowly into kind of a weird table pose with the legs a little further back, and then just kind of like stretch and feel the hips. I'm going to do a little bit of counter stretching, but slow mo. Feel that space. Okay, so we did the side, outside, we did inside, we did back. Where do we have left of the legs and the front? We did a little bit here, but not a lot, so we have now the quads, yeah. So this half saddle pose, I did the saddle pose for you earlier today. I'm going to offer you several options. The main point in this one is that the knees are never stressed. It's very easy to have stress. Don't force it. Don't force your knees. We don't have time for that. You don't have time for that. So I'm going to give you progressional options, that option A, B, C, and then you can also offer this way to your students too, because you never know what you're going to get in class. So option A, the segment that we're working on, front of thigh, one. You can feel sensation from all the way up here to all the way down here. Try to keep it out of here and try to bring the intensity here in this place that it really needs it. So when I go to bring awareness to that, I have one leg folded under me. Some people that this is not even possible for some people based on me. So then from here, I squeeze my glute, it brings my hip forward and I feel that activation. From here, I can slowly go back. Maybe that's enough. If this is your option, and I swing into this, don't go as fast as I'm doing. This is a nice way to do that. So I have support against the couch, I can super stretch here, and I'm not going all the way to the floor. So if you're gonna be hovering, so you don't have to hold yourself, you can also hold yourself. You can be in a cushion at home, or you can be in your besha relaxing back position. Or if it's there for you, you're gonna have some blocks behind you and a mat. You can take it out. Sometimes people like to take a block of the bra line and up, or a block behind the head and up. Again, I'm gonna squeeze my glute and open here. Once I found a comfortable position here, I will take my other leg and use it as leverage and see how much of a more stretch I can get open. Remember to keep it in, excuse me, the belly of the muscle, they call it. So the muscle is like a tube, the two ends, ligaments, tendons, and we want to stretch not the ligaments and the tendons full force, but we want to put the stress in the belly of the muscle. Again, you put your blocks to support yourself. And again, what is the purpose of what we're doing? We are now stretching through the front of the hip. And we'll be here. You guys' knees are okay? Everyone's good. Take it into that stretch. To the mushroom. Breathing and allowing the rise and the fall of the belly. Breathe. Breathing through 2.5 minutes. If you're doing saddle pose, like with both of the legs behind you, and don't worry, we'll have a lab on it during the training. it's nice if you have someone there that can like take your hands and lift you out of it, just in case. Just in case you get stuck there. As it can happen. Really opening, see if again that other leg can give you some leverage to open. Seconds then 50. And if any of you wear like a Fitbit or step counter, often they have a timer inside. And so it's a little bit better than alarm because it will vibrate on your wrist. You'll feel it. I can't wear step counter, it stresses me out. I get stressed. I'm like, oh, what am I gonna do with this data? Get stressed. So very slowly begin to take the tension off again, just see about rolling. Straight body. You can just let that leg go straight slowly. And just take it from side to side. So we'll get set up for the other side. Keep in mind that the sides can be different. I come up onto my elbows and bring that other leg under. That everything's kind of appearing fine and normal. And we'll take the same position. Use my other leg to kind of set me up. Kind of on my back. Just for a little extra lift and opening through my thoracic spine. And I can have my head all the way back, but I don't want to, and I'll have my walk over. So again, that other leg, you take it out and use it. So by now, with the focus breathing, even if you're not focusing on your breath so much, you might notice that your inhale just happens more naturally lengthened on both the inhale and both the exhale. Remember. Very slowly explore the path of least resistance to touch it off the leg. Sometimes I like to grab my actual foot and just release a little bit. Then I can slowly start to kick that leg straight. So let's bring ourselves to our back. Come here. Add one block behind my head just for comfort, and I'm gonna bend both of my knees. I'm just gonna take your time, and then I'm gonna gently just windshield a little bit by extend both legs along the floor and then just rotate. And then just like using this dish to take out my knees. Rotate, shake your head. And I like let my knees settle back into their spot of drum. And slowly we're going to one side. Move the arms to hugging. So we're gonna continue this. Yeah, it's really hard to feel like. Man, it's like close to. Make sure I walk that. We're not done yet. We're gonna take our blocks. And we're gonna transition to a feeling of emotion. So now, we'll just really go deeply here. Now, we're gonna come into this wall. And we're gonna come, into this lunge shape. So you might wanna have your with an out. My friend leg, I'm gonna step it slowly, and I'm just gonna move in. Pull this shoe and out of this shoe. And extend that. So let me, the front, I'm stretching in my front of my thigh. And when I go back, I'm stretching this front leg away. And then you can even go back and flex the foot. So take your time. We'll do about 4 for each side. That's one through. And even when you go through, you don't push, really extending at that stretch. So I'm going just through our range of motion, whatever that is today. The box position and where you feel comfortable. You can also just stay down, nobody's choice. Why don't just try it on, basically. And breathing. Maybe this time I need to be a little strict this. We did a little bit here in the back, but now we use the stretch. So I can explain a few different results of the shape. If I flex, really a little bit more. If I point, you might find the top of the leg. So I'm going to do some parts. And I also like to kind of roll. Just feel very like need that, like I can roll and I can be like, oof, there it is. And now I can find an extra tight spot. Down. So for me right now, I'm feeling circular, feeling questions for me, and I have a little bit of a twist. My hips and pull them up. That is spinal twist, just my action is twist. It's not nice. Please. Super chaos. If they're out there, they're gonna be screaming. And the dogs are amazing. Once they ran past me, I looked like a ball of dogs running, and they crashed literally into the side of the car. They were just running their feet so easily, and they're like, it's like I've never seen an animal crash. Like maybe a bird flies into the glass, but the dogs usually little. They just really so. I love them so bad. They're frenzy. So next, pull the toes in, stretch. So these were additions that I made in like tomorrow. This one's the main. So when I did yoga for dancers, this was all we really needed because we spent a lot of time relegating fat into the calf. So I called this one the stone because it feels like the stone. This was my hand. Wasn't in the yin one, but I added it. This is going on. We won't want to be as limited. And so these are all preps if you're ever working on your split. These are all preps for pretty much everything we just did split preps. Awesome. So let's slowly bring this up in. Just very fun, make sure I will shake it. Let's switch. I know my intention where I'm benefiting most today. All the other things with the slowly take the tension off, and then if anyone, like I said, go to work, they're like working on this split, this is where you press into split. It's not in my curriculum, actually, but it was like, no, everyone knows. Sometimes it's a little. Yeah, that dynamic stretching is really weird, so the need for us to go ahead. Lay about. Stretch about. And then I'm gonna regulate body weight to make it into the There's a little rest here, nothing part of that. And so the next one that we're gonna do is the opposite shape of this, kind of a little bit, keeping it deep with flip over it. So take a look at we can go on into that. So I'm gonna come to my knees. I'm gonna take the floor. Like it was just like how when we were standing. So we just spent the last hour opening all around the pelvis. So now we're gonna go into a little bit of an upward fold or camel pose from this position. So really firming the pelvis. But I don't really think about going up and over. I mainly think about animating a circle of your body. And I'm gonna bring this block to that leg. So I come here, I have that feeling of rotation, the pressing, and then I'm gonna fold in from my eye, take it to the other side, and kind of open to the other side. I'm gonna keep it active and dynamic, slow. So again, we're gonna go from side to side. It's not about going to our deepest form of the pose, I'm just kind of trying it out. I'm going from side to side. You can take the block there. And then again, just circle through. So I'm exhaling and coming through, and then the peak of my inhale, open, and then we'll do kind of like 4 for each side. One more after this. Each side after that. So go. You want to feel supported by your abs. And when I go through center, guys, I'm pulling in. I'm going through that opposite form. I'm really bent. Really hinging at the hips. And there. And then I'll come back to center. I'm going to remove my other block. So I'm going to put blocks here. If we're in this pose right here, this is one that we press the hips super forward. So let's bring our hands to the low back. I'm going to widen my knees a little bit. And I'm going to lift up and look towards where the wall and the ceiling meet and squeeze my elbows together. Think about this broadness in the collarbone. Squeeze, lift, extend, squeeze your glutes. That's going to help press you forward. And we have a little more openness through this whenever our hips now. And look up where the wall meets the ceiling. And if it's there for you, just look straight ahead from you, up. And breathe, stretch. It's really hard to breathe when you're in this shape. So really bring in that breath, be strong. And then slowly think of your low abs, fold the crease from the hips, take the hips back, slowly, 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 the opposite arm, and just take yourself into child's pose. Rest. One more inhale, one more exhale here. Actually, let's do 2. And bring the hands to the floor. We're going to slowly push ourselves up. And we're going to take a block and make our way onto our back. So if you just turn yourself over slowly. I'm going to bring a block under my bra line. I really want to do like a heart opener elevation from here. So I have the block here. Because of my sinus, I don't want to have my head under my chest right now for my own self. But if you don't mind your head back, or you can put your head on a block, it's okay, as you like. And keep your knees bent if it's okay for your back, or if it's okay for your back, you can extend them. We're going into Shavasana. We'll be here for about 4 minutes. So we did a lot of opening through the legs, and don't worry, we'll do a little bit of movement integration. So now just kind of take this moment and feel your bodies move forward. We did a lot of really deep stretching. Everything was minimum 4 minutes. So now just like enjoy your new shape. See if you can feel the skeleton inside of the jelly that is all of your body, fascia and skin. See if you can just feel your skeleton in there as you rest. And then we have this little block assist in the upper back to open through the chest. I don't even need to work on that. So we had that camel pose, movement camel pose, that last one with the back bend. That's another chest opener, but it was active. I had to work. Now I get to open my chest and it's just grabbing. Thank you. Just enjoy. So breathing into the front of the body, breathing into the chest, breathing into the solar plexus. Breathing into the low belly, just notice if your breath moves a little more easily deeper into the body than before. Slowly integrating. Feel the energy that you open just percolating again. Visualizing the fascia in its new form. Picturing the work that you did. Picturing the tissues that you opened. Creating your mind's eye vision of your body from the inside out. So some people see it in colors, maybe you see it like what it looks like in the anatomy book, but this will be a vision that we develop for ourselves. For the next inhale, make it a little bit bigger than the last one. So settle a little more into the floor. And then inhaling, start to bring a little movement into your fingers and your toes. The edges of your body. Start to circle the wrists a little bit, circle the ankles. Press, stretch. And slowly, as you're ready, inhale to stretch your arms overhead. Full body stretch, exhale, extension. Release the down, bring your arms back into your sides very slowly. Now you can roll over onto your left side. We'll take a few breaths here. Closing on the left side. Bring your hands into the floor. I'm going to roll over kind of into table pose. And myself will tap. Come into your table pose. If you take any like equalizing movements, a little bit of cat and cow, move your spine a little left, see what it moves the low back, especially if you lose a little bit of integration. And then slowly I'm gonna shift my weight into my hands and put that strong, broad hand down. I'm gonna curl my toes under and press back with the bent legs. Walk it back, 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 back. So from this position, I'm in standing forward fold, just hang up. You can grab the opposite elbow or just hang out, ragdoll. Move forward fold, my foot is connected, both of my feet are connected to the ground. I'm gonna inhale up halfway, my arms, my hands come up to my knees. Back and there. And exhale, forward and the knees soften, lower down. And on our next inhale, we'll press between the feet and slowly come up. Take your time, super slowly. Okay, standing and then going into that like shifting. So like when we were just down on table, we're kind of just shifting. So we do that in the standing mood. Standing position, not just mood. To your legs, your knees will to adjust. And then I'm gonna just do some little small bounds. And also shaking the shoulders, just a little shaking. And then turn it into the upper body and just like shaking. And then my legs shaking. And then the other leg shaking. And then we'll come to like a position with the feet a little wider than hip distance apart and plie or bend the knees, and we'll inhale up. And exhale. Then again, inhale up. So feel when you bend, feel how does that feel? Inhale up. Like kind of like I'm going into squat. And you're gonna inhale up, and I'll step the legs together and bring the hands down through center. And just stand. So I'm kind of in mountain pose. Alert, feeling. Feel through your lower body. Feel through your upper body. And namaste. So yeah, shake it out. Take any like extra rotations back to front, front to back. Take a little walk. Try out your new hips. How do you guys feel? You feel that space in there?
I'm the only one who wants to speak now.
No, it's almost time for that, yeah, it is almost time. Right, yeah, that is kind of a yin hip opening class, very similar for my yin for dancing. Yin for people with legs. You know, that's the only contraindication that you wouldn't be able to do that class is if you don't have legs. You know. So that feeling, that openness through the hips. I mean, after that, I feel like I want to do splits. For me, I'm like, yeah, I want to do like I'm ready. I'm like, yes, being able to move. But yeah, how does that feel on your guys' legs? Was it too aggressive, or how are your hips? And now back into that soul point, the hips. So we can think of it as belly dance, or from Tai Chi, they use circles in the hips.
Yeah. And also strong for some now.
Yeah, because when we're caked up, we don't have access to our own strength.
Yeah.
You know, that's the thing. Or like I was saying, for bodybuilders or anyone that's doing a lot of like muscular work, they want to build more muscle. The muscle has no room to grow bigger when the fascia is all cramped up like that. So I have to kind of open it, and then that gives the muscle more room to swell, more room to become bigger. Yeah, no, that was like, I made that 3 times a week, you know. Mistake, thanks. So when I'm super bitchy, you know, I didn't do that 3 times a week. And so we attacked from all sides, right? So we had the pigeon in here, the figure four. We had two for the inner thighs, actually. We did the frog at first, and then we went into the wide leg angle. We went, so that was attacking the tissues from here. We attacked the tissues from here and here with the pigeon, or sleeping swan, as they call it in Yin. We had this stocking, this one, and this one for lower down, and then the flexed foot for along the back of the legs for opening. That also opened through the low back. We had this one from the side, the half butterfly, so opening through the top of the iliac crest. So we had pulling from here, and some other things were affected. Like I always said, nothing is removed from the other thing. They're all together. What else did we have? Yeah, the front of the thigh with the saddle pose, and I think that is all of them. Is there one more? Oh, we have this one. The moving camel from the front. From the front of the pose. So when you get into class creation and when you know your body very, very, very well, that was a class that I didn't write out or look at anything. That's one that I just know in my head, and I'm thinking of the parts of the pelvis. So I'm like, that's what I want to do. I want to open the pelvis. So you can think, you can theme your classes like that, low back openers, you know. Also, when you're doing an area like this big substantial meaty area, you can't overdo it so much. I wouldn't necessarily do that heavy focus on opening the neck. If I was gonna do a neck upper body opener class, I would work a lot through the low back also still, and then maybe spend 20 minutes, 25 minutes in the upper body, not more than a half an hour. And that would be a combination, kind of like things we did last night, which was first circling the neck, but I wouldn't apply 4-minute holds again to these tissues because they're so small. I would maybe do 1.5 minutes, and I would also maybe just keep a little bit of movement and just be very, very easy, not like forcing. For the lower tissues, also because I'm a dancer and I have done lots of forceful stretching, I'll push a little harder in those ones, you know what I mean? Because also I want that time, I want that flexibility gains. Don't ever do flexibility gains in your head and neck. It's not a game. It will be set you back, you know, if anything. So if I were to do something in the upper body, also just like around the arms, stretching through the chest and whatnot, through here, everything is more tiny. So I would just also reduce the time by like 75%, you know, because also the size of these is probably 75% smaller than the size of, you know, so I would like think about it. Yeah. I would think about it relatively, and I would think about everything in context. I'm gonna flip the light. Just watch your eyes for a minute. Let's see what else we have on the plan. Any questions or comments about this practice? I think we'll do practice, and then maybe I'll have some more to say about it tomorrow, you know.
Awesome, but I'm sure they'll come back to me.
Yeah, you can just like enjoy the nervous system. The nervous system. So. Yeah. So tomorrow we're gonna do a little bit of, in the morning, we'll do a little bit of circular flow. So it's, again, what I wanna send with you this weekend is a lot of ways that you can learn to trust your body while in a good form. We're gonna repeat the poses again and again and again for the rest of your life. What I'm really interested in for you guys is you developing your personal practice. So when you're working by yourself, I don't want you to be like, and now it's this, and now it's this, and now it's this. So I feel like if we learn how to morph the poses a little bit, it becomes more personalized, and again, for what you need and more tailored to what you need. That's the whole point, is for you to have your practice. You know what I mean? So we'll have a little bit of a circular flow. All that circular joint warm up, joint mobility, we'll kind of go into some like tai chi or circular movements of the body and see what muscles are engaged for that. Today we did the bones of the body. Tomorrow we'll do the major muscles of the body. So we'll work with the major muscle group. We'll do a little bit. Again, I talked a bit about it today, but we'll do a little bit about theory versus like Vedic theory, Indian theory, which is Vedic, and Yin Yoga, which is Chinese or Taoist. So I'll contrast those a little bit. We'll get into the chakras tomorrow, talk about the chakras and the energy body. And then that will be. So my goal this weekend is to foundational asana and breathwork, and we'll do sequence A again, because not everyone was here today, so maybe we'll do that even like before lunch tomorrow. And we'll do circular theory, sequence A, and then moving. So understanding yoga as a tool for nervous system regulation and grounding. We didn't really talk about that much. We're gonna go into the nervous system a little bit tomorrow, but we're experiencing it of how we feel after our practice. So once we go there, sometimes it's more useful to show you than to talk to you about it. You know what I mean? There will be lots where I have to talk to you about it, but a lot of it I want to show you and then talk to you about it. And then exploring our energetic body, yin yang balance. So today we super yinned out. So tomorrow we're gonna kind of be a little more energetic, and then we'll take it down at the end of the day. And then just reminding you, if you don't have already, get your journal to make little notes. Maybe you'll have notes when you go home. Maybe you'll have notes in the morning. It's really great while you're in any type of course to write. It doesn't have to be even about the course. It's you writing about yourself. So there's a few different practices that are super useful. There's one called morning pages. If you've ever done it, Julia Canvas. The artist's way, yeah, exactly. So morning pages is really awesome because you just wake up, you write 3 pages of freehand consciousness, or 1, whatever you have time for or think you have time for. And you may never go back and read it ever again.
What to write in these pages? What to write in these pages?
Well, so morning pages, you would just write, maybe you write, I don't want to be awake. It's too dark. I hate this right now. What am I even writing in these pages? You can even write that. Like, so the point of that is it helps clear your mind and your psyche. And so often in the day we wake up and we're like, oh God, I have to do this and this and this and this. Often we end up writing that. It's not your to-do list. It's just kind of a dump. Put it to the side. It will change your life. It is an amazing practice. I've done a lot of like little practices and things with all of my trainings and things. This one has been very, very, very effective. Especially when I have a lot going on, and I'll just write that. You can write 1 page in the morning, be like, why the hell am I even here? I hate this, whatever. I need to stop smoking. I need to eat more healthy, whatever. Maybe you're whining. Maybe one day, I woke up, I feel so good this morning. Amazing. I love that practice yesterday. It was so good. Oh my God, this dog's been shut up. Just whatever. Oh my God, my mom called me. She's being so annoying. Like whatever, just dump. It doesn't have, no one's gonna look at it. You're not even gonna look at it. Maybe in like 10 years if you save your books or something, but it's like, shh. It's like when beer has a foam or soda has the foam and you just scrape it off the top. So it's just something to take extra debris out of your consciousness, and it works. That's when you don't have to do it. I'm just recommending it. But what you do have to do is have a yoga journal and like log your experience, even if that practice hurt my ass, like just a little bit of point form. Today in yoga, I wish that maybe my flexibility surprised me or my lack of flexibility surprised me. I was really enjoying that side more than the left side, the right side more than the left side. Just little notes about your practice. I felt super expansive or light. I got a little bit high from the breath work, the breath of joy. I was like kind of dizzy from that. So that is another journal. That's different than your morning pages. So that's like your yoga journal. So as you go through your process of integrating and you go back and read it towards the end of your course, then you can see how much you've developed and how much you put your time in. So there's a yoga journal, and then there's like other writing exercises if you want to do them. Some people really love to do writing exercises. Some people don't love to do it. I personally don't, but I do them because I know that it helps me. And I love to write anyway, but yeah, I don't like to collage. Don't ask me to collage. I had to collage so much in my dance school. I was like, yeah, for creating characters, and I was like, oh, I hate this. And I can do it in my mind. I don't, you know what I mean? I don't need a paper to put the paper. I can do it in my mind. Or make a Pinterest. Don't ask me to do Pinterest. I don't want to look at Pinterest. I can't deal with it. I feel like I'm wasting my time. You know, so there's many things in different ways. Maybe you want to do Pinterest, and maybe you love Pinterest. You know what I mean? So it's like just different times where you can sit quietly with yourself and have reflection. That's pretty much why people say it, right? It's pretty much sit quietly with yourself and have reflection. There's something about the action of putting pen to paper that is significantly more psychologically powerful than typing or putting notes on your iPad or your phone. So that's what I say, just, yeah, get a yoga journal, mainly because I want you to write about your own practices. Today I did sequence A. My balance was really amazing on one side. My balance was really shit, whatever your observations of yourself are. And you can approach it from a few different ways. You can grade yourself. I don't want you to like think about judging yourself in that way all the time, but you can think about your progress. This little thing, always did. I'm like, nope, don't know what that is. You can think about your progress, and you can think, log your progress, and also it just reminds you, I progressed. If you have like journal or scheduler like this. Like, I mean, I use my schedule, like I use it a lot. Yeah, I use it a lot, like all of my little like it's a little bit, no one else can look at this and understand what's going on. For me, I'm like, okay, I did a lot of stuff, yeah, and I put even like watered the garden, did my Mind Valley classes, did my face yoga, you know what I mean? And I kind of keep track of all my stuff. So you can even have a book like that where you track and you're like, okay, today I focused on the hips. Today I focused on the upper body. Today I went to the gym. I did something outside of yoga. You know what I mean? I cross-trained. So just having a book where you log what you do helps you look back and realize that you did. It's helped you to see your progress. So you need to have a yoga journal. And I'm not gonna like I said, I'm not gonna look and read your stuff. I would just do this and flip and see that you did it. See with some dates. And you're consistent. So this is what we're trying to cultivate, is your consistency of your self-practice. So there's a few tools, don't feel like this is something that you're just gonna like squeeze in around your whole life. Like it is something that you need to like develop or just like enjoy these next months. And then maybe it will just become your lifestyle for a long time. And then maybe it tapers off and then it comes back. And I've told you guys, I've had my time, my up and down with yoga and my in and out with yoga. I had times where I was teaching so much, and then I was like, I'm not teaching yoga anymore, I hate everyone. And then I went for training, and then I was re-inspired again, and then I was teaching, and then I was like, okay, I'm gonna do it in a different way this time, so that's just, it's like relationship with anything. And now you're like building your relationship with professionally with yoga, so kind of like that. Any questions for me? Well, anything today, or if you get home and you think of them, you're certainly welcome.
Are these like practices, it's in down, so.
Yeah, the sequence A is in your manual.
Yeah.
The one that I just did, I'll write it for you and I have it there. And yeah, we have it, actually, let me pause this. And we have it on the video. Oh, it's right on time. Anyway, and then I will give you like our notes recap after the whole weekend. So like as we're going along, I'm making notes and yeah.